Hi, everybody. I'm Tina Malsom. I'm so excited for our guest speaker tonight here on this APLGO training call. And I'd love it when a training call has just as many guests as it does people already involved, because not only are we so excited to hear the information from our amazing guest speaker tonight, but our friends are dying to hear what she has to say too, which is just awesome. So I am so excited to introduce Mary Esther Gilbert. She has more nutritional experience than anyone's bio I've ever read. So I'm going to let you tell them exactly what your experience is, because some of the things that you're an expert at, I can't even pronounce, which is great for us at APLGO, because she wrote our over 500 page nutritional science guide that we use. It's like our APLGO Bible that we use. It's got information about every product, every ingredient, the systems of your body, how to use it all together. So with that being said, please help me welcome from Arizona, from Tucson, Arizona, Mary Esther Gilbert to our call tonight.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Tina. Wow, I have to introduce myself, huh? Okay, haven't done that in a while. Well, it all started back in 1979, but I'm not going to give you the play-by-play up until today. But basically, I just kept going back to school. I had started out as a clinical dietetics major, and it wasn't teaching me how to heal people with nutrition. That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to follow in my grandfather's footsteps, who happened to be a medical doctor, but the Native Americans here in Arizona taught him more about herbal medicines and how to heal the body than all of his medical training. And I found that to be true in my clinical dietetics training. So I actually switched my major to nutrition science, and I enrolled myself in this holistic health college, which was they weren't that common back, 20, 30 years ago. So I learned more from the holistic college than I did from my traditional training. And I've learned even more by taking in clients and evaluating their own individual health issues and just going into the scientific literature, the university and government databases that contain thousands, and I mean thousands of scientific studies from all over the world. And that's how I really learned how nutrition heals the body at the microcell level. That's the most important thing to consider. And this is what I love about the drops. The drops go to the microcell level, your genetic code, DNA level, and they make the corrections there. So, based on that, just keep that in mind as we progress through the evening. But yeah, and here I am today. I retired my practice 10 years ago, and I'm writing books and I'm teaching courses, and I'm just having a lot of fun.
And that is exactly why I wanted you to introduce yourself, because I never could have painted the picture that you just painted for us on how your learning started and how it progressed. I think that that's amazing. So I do have a lot of questions. I made the mistake of asking the team, what questions would you like me to ask Mary Esther? Because honestly, I got like 100. So I picked the top 5 that people were asking about the most. And it started with, we like to say these drops are instant gratification nutrition because of the way they're absorbed. I'd love to hear you talk about the absorbability of these products. And then when people put them in their mouth, it goes into their body and then they say, but I didn't feel anything. So what is your response on time frame? Some people feel things instantly and some don't. And why is that?
Well, the body has a hierarchy of priorities. If the nervous system, the heart, the vital organs are in trouble, then a person's health issues are going to correlate with that. So if anyone takes a drop and they see a response in those body systems, they're going to see a difference. But if a person has minor health issues, slight body aches and pains that haven't manifested in something major yet, they may not feel the difference, especially if their diet is pretty good and they're staying hydrated, they're getting plenty of rest, they're managing their stress. So it depends on the individual. But just know that your body is very frugal when it comes to nutrients. It utilizes every single molecule you put in it and decides what to do with it, how to distribute it, and decides what the priority in your health is. So that's why some people just don't feel anything right away. But by tuning into your body and tuning into what it's trying to tell you and taking as good of care as you can, then you may not feel all that much difference. I'm super healthy because I practice what I teach. But when I started taking the drops, I just felt really good. I always feel pretty good. But, and I never feel tired because, managing what you know how to manage and implementing that every day in your life as the first priority, because you are so important, everyone. Take care of that health. It's happening at the microcell level, so you can't really see it, but just know that your body is utilizing those drops to the fullest extent.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? The microcell level, exactly what happens from the time you put this drop in your mouth? What is going on in your body? I know we use 80 different superfoods, like 1,000 different micronutrients. What exactly are those doing once this drop starts melting in your mouth?
Okay, let's take a trip inside the micro world, the micro universe of your body. So you put the drop in your mouth and the saliva starts dissolving it. And right away, because they are so completely absorbable, because the DNA of those plants is extremely compatible with the DNA of ours. So your body recognizes those molecular structures, that genetic information. So it immediately absorbs it through the cell membranes in the mucosal cells of your mouth. So like the inside of your mouth, all of your mouth on the inside are these tissues that can absorb small molecules like the sugar and the DNA and the mitochondria, all the little plant organelles that are inside the cell that is in our drops. Okay, so it immediately gets absorbed into the bloodstream. It starts circulating in the bloodstream. And your monitoring system, which is your nervous system and your hormonal system and your immune system, they all work together to determine what to do with those amazing molecules, because they're so compatible. They're so perfectly compatible with our own cells. So plant cells and human cells, I always like to point out, are extremely, extremely similar. The inside of a cell is almost identical to the inside of human cells. So we all have energy producing factories in there. We've got enzymes that'll break down nutrients and molecules and repurpose them and just redistribute them and rebuild new tissues. So cells do the very exact same thing. So they're extremely compatible. So it'll get distributed to the places where it's needed most, and your body knows what to do with that.
And how long do these nutrients actually stay in your body?
They'll be circulating and they'll be landing and going through cell membrane sites, entering the cells of various body systems, and they'll be utilized to repair, regenerate, detoxify, correct any genetic defects or malfunctioning anywhere. So they'll stay in there for several hours, 24 hours, 48 hours. And what your body doesn't need, it'll sweat out, urinate it out. But usually in the drops, these are so perfect that your body will utilize every single bit of them in one way or another.
So does the nutrients compound in your body at all? Like the longer you take these drops, the more healthy you're going to feel over time?
Yes, great question, Tina. That was my next point. Absolutely. When you take in nutrients every single day for a long period of time, it has a build-up synergistic effect, because your body is constantly being provided with everything that it needs to rebuild and repurpose and repair, protect itself, build immune cells that are more intelligent, so to speak. Their genetic codes are more nourished, therefore they're functioning more on a higher level. They can recognize things that aren't supposed to be in the body. People who are in a constant inflammatory effect their immune system just does not know how to turn off that inflammatory response. If you're under a lot of stress for a long period of time and you don't have those nutrients to counter those free radicals, which are molecules the body makes that are like stress chemicals, response to stress. I mean, if you are in a stress response situation for a long period of time, then you will stay in that state, and it's very toxic. There's a cascade effect. It has many effects on your nervous system, your hormonal system, and it starts damaging your cells. So what you want to do is stay nourished as much as possible so that you have those nutrients that will help repair the damage as you go along. And you'll be able to be, it also helps you maintain a better mood, disposition, and you're able to think more clearly. Your attention span is longer. Your learning ability is improved. Things like that. Just when people don't really notice, there's nothing wrong with my body, but hey, I was able to think through, this test, exam that I took today, or something like that. Your attention span is longer.
Wow. Now you mentioned inflammation. And one of our drops, specifically SLD, also mentions inflammation. Is it just that one drop, or is it all of the drops?
Yeah, every single plant in all of our drops have anti-inflammatory properties. So plants have many, many different phytochemical compounds, different types of nutrient factors that actually contribute toward allowing your body to deal with inflammation and stress and all that kind of thing, physical stress, emotional stress, and all of that. So yeah, I mean, it's important to know that each drop has certain botanicals that address certain body systems for sure. But mostly all of the plants, because of the wide array of phytochemical compounds in there, actually help nourish the nervous system and help your nervous system, your neurons fire correctly rather than go crazy, you know, like if you're under stress or if you're tired or are ill or anything like that, then it helps maintain that balance.
Wow. So I know when we talk, people come to us because they don't like choking down pills or making shakes and clumpy water and all these crazy things we do to stay healthy. And one of the things, of course, we talk about is absorption. That's to me, the biggest difference between what people have been taking and our product. But what else? What are also the big differences between supplements that you could buy at the store versus our products?
Okay, yeah, the drops are not vitamin mineral supplements. When you go out and search for a vitamin mineral supplement, if you see the list of vitamins and minerals listed on the label, you'll find that a lot of them are not from whole food sources. They're laboratory derived. And some scientists will say, and you can find this information all over the internet, they'll say, oh, ascorbic acid is exactly the same as the vitamin C molecular compound in an orange or a hot pepper or whatever a high vitamin C food might be. But they're not, because the whole food complexes, they don't take into account that they are at the atomic level, they have electron orbits that are moving and are active and interact with your body's atomic structures and your molecular structures at the subatomic level. So the energetic frequencies with which our cells vibrate, we are light energy beings. So this is not present in ascorbic acid. You know, it's formulated in the laboratory. Also, just know that ascorbic acid is derived from genetically modified corn. You want to stay away from genetically modified organisms because those plants have been altered at the DNA level. What's been inserted into their DNA are pesticides so that they can tolerate the pesticide sprays. And those pesticides are linked more and more and more to cancers and neurodegenerative disorders, digestive problems, birth defects. I mean, as the studies go on, they're finding more and more of these problems. So you want to stay away from supplements that have synthetic vitamins and also elemental minerals, because those the body cannot absorb. Plants can absorb them because they can transform their atomic negatively charged particles, the negatively charged electrons in the orbitals in the atoms. I mean, you can just keep going on and on and on. You know, you've got the tissues, and then you've got the molecules, and you've got the atoms, and you've got the subquantum inner universe that keeps going on and on infinitely in that direction. You know, so we are definitely energy beings, and none of that is present in a lot of these supplements out there. You've got a lot of whole food supplements out there that are improving, and those are the next best thing, but they're not as alive with the negatively charged particles as a whole food would be, and as the drops are.
And let's talk about just the science for a minute, the Accumulate SA technology itself. Now, we're using this to enhance our product with the negative ions, but also that we're extracting the DNA from the plants. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, the process, as far as I know, because it's a proprietary, technology, as much as I can pull out of Sergey, is I understand that the plant materials are put in a giant vat, and they simulate a lightning thunderstorm. And anytime you have a thunderstorm out in nature, afterwards you smell the air, how fresh it is. Those are negatively charged particles, the negatively charged ions. So they simulate this, and they actually bombard the plant materials. Doesn't hurt the plant materials at all. In fact, they love it. At the cell level, and at the atomic level, they will actually absorb more electrons. So anytime you have a food or supplement that has an abundance of electrons, then when you ingest them, it'll neutralize all of the toxins in your body, all of the stress chemicals in your body, because those are all called free radicals, and they love to scavenge healthy cells to steal their electrons, okay? So you want more raw foods in your diet and enzyme active and energy active foods, just like the drops are, and the whole foods. So you want to ingest as many of those as you can so that your body is continuously provided with these negatively charged particles to neutralize anything that does not belong in the body and is causing your cells to become damaged.
Wow. So one of the things we talked about, sugar content. People always ask how much sugar and why is this actually a good sugar for my body every day?
Okay, I love this question because I do not advocate sugar at all. But if you have a whole foods diet, then the 1.7 grams of sugar in the drops is going to be so negligible that it's not even funny. Plus, the drops contain a lot of countermeasures. They've got the phytochemical complexes that help your body regulate sugar. I've had people with diabetes take the drops, and the 1.7 grams of sugar does not affect them because of the nutrient factors that are in the drops that help balance out your blood sugar. Okay, so someone's asking a question. I saw my name there. Okay,
Yes.
we'll answer that.
Yes, it was a question about what do we say when somebody says they need a certain amount of like vitamin C, or, my doctor says I need 1,000 grams of vitamin D. How do we navigate which of our drops are going to be right for that person?
Okay, don't think of our drops as a vitamin mineral supplement. Think of them as a DNA repairing supplement. It'll go in and our DNA actually will read the genetic codes of the DNA of plants, and it's in the drops. So when we take in the DNA of plants, our DNA reads that DNA and decides what segments of the plant DNA to splice into our own DNA to repair anything that needs repairing. That's what's so exciting about plant food. So when someone tells you eat your fruits and vegetables, definitely do that. But you've got to digest them. You've got to break them down to the most minute level, which is where the drops are. The drops are at the most fundamental nutrient absorbable level. So they're already, it's already done for you. So that's what happens when you take in the drops. But if you take in a whole food vitamin mineral supplement, which is the next best thing, you still have to digest it. Your body still has to break it down to usable levels by adding electrons to the molecules, because vitamins and mineral supplements are not alive that way. They're not alive with the light energy active and the electron orbitals, things like that, not like whole foods and not like the drops are. So yeah, you've got to be able to utilize the nutrients at the DNA level. Your DNA has to be able to read the DNA in the foods and the drops that you take in order to be able to utilize. And that's what absorption is. It goes through the cell membrane. It's recognized immediately. The cell membranes in our bodies are extremely, they're picky about what goes through that cell membrane to enter the inner world of our cells. That's where health begins. That's where disease begins, when cells at that level start malfunctioning. So they need the proper nourishment, the proper molecules.
Wow. Well, let's talk about immunity for a minute. I mean, if 2020 taught us anything, it was that people need to pay way more attention to their immune system than they have been in the past. I know we have one specific drop that talks about immunity, but I believe I heard you say on one of our other calls, all of our drops deal with this immune system. And I would like to hear from you exactly how you feel about that.
Oh yeah, the drops contain so many phytochemical compounds, a huge array. In the drops, from what I understand, they contain at least 1,000 phytonutrient compounds. In the book that I wrote, I compiled a complete database, which is a lot more than 1,000, but we just emphasized, I guess they just picked out the 1,000 just so that people can be impressed by that many phytochemicals, but I know there are many, many more in the drops because of what's in those botanicals. But so yeah, I mean, we have to maintain that kind of level of absorbability and usability so that the drops can be utilized to their fullest extent and address every body system. So we've got so many different phytochemicals that I think they should be counted as essential nutrients. They're not at this time, but although they've been around, and they've been studied extensively, there are thousands, literally thousands of studies done on phytochemical compounds and There are at least 25,000 known phytochemical compounds in edible foods, and more and more are being discovered every day. And as I'm doing the revision of the book right now, I'm seeing how the updated science research studies have discovered even more. So at some point in the future, I might just have to make the phytochemical database in the book a separate book, because that's being updated constantly, or just maintain a database on my website or something like that, because it's overwhelming, Tina. I mean, there are, and all these compounds, they address every single body system, and they help correct, they help the immune system become more intelligent, more being able to recognize foreign substances, distorted molecules, things like that, which it can disassemble, reject, eliminate, detoxify, and things like that. So the body's constantly at work, and we have to give it what it needs. Otherwise, it just starts deteriorating. And that's the problem with 99.9% of the health problems out there.
Oh, absolutely. And, it's funny. One of the things we never said in the beginning, and now we say on every presentation, is that all of our products are natural appetite suppressants, which I didn't know when we first started. Can you tell us why that is or how that works?
Yeah, when you're craving something, that means you're nutrient deficient, or one of the energy nutrients, which are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Those have to be whole food sources, no refined foods, because those have zero satisfaction value, because they're not nourishing at all. So you have to stay nourished in order to naturally and automatically manage any kind of cravings you might have, or any kind of fatigue. So balancing all of your energy nutrients and your vitamins and minerals, which come with organic and nutrient-rich soils that grow healthy plants for us to eat. So the more nutrient-rich a soil is, the more nutrient-rich a whole food is. These companies who refine all of these whole foods actually just sap the nutrients out of all of these foods. So they're rendered nothing but just toxic, highly refined sugars, which wreak havoc on your whole system, especially the pancreas. It's constantly secreting these enzymes, and so your body cannot handle the sugar at those levels. So you've got to maintain a whole food, whole vitamin, whole supplement kind of just routine in your body, and taking the drops every single day will also help you regulate a lot of the body systems. Please don't go overboard on the drops, because that 1.7 gram of sugar can add up, especially if you're taking in a lot of sweets, a lot of sweetened beverages. Watching those grams of sugar in your diet is extremely important.
So speaking of diet, everybody always wants to know, what drops do I need to take to lose a little weight? Because I do know so many people lose weight, and I have my own theory, which is because you have drops in your mouth all day instead of food, is my theory. But I'd like to hear what you think. And here's why: because when we ask people, well, which drops are you on where you lost all this weight? Everybody says something different. So it's kind of mind-blowing. Tell me what you think about that.
Okay, so I love this. Okay, this is I'll try to make it as short as I can, because this can take all day. The body is an energy producing biological system. So it needs exercise, it needs oxygen, it needs nutrients, it needs rest, it needs proper hydration, which means just pure water. Anything else will not hydrate you. You might feel satisfied for a few minutes, but you're going to feel thirsty in a little while. Water is the only thing that will do that. And sometimes high water content foods, like all the melons and tomatoes and some of the berries, just high water content food will help satisfy that hydrating necessity. So you've got to do all of the above. If anything is missing, you're going to have cravings. You're going to not have enough energy to exercise. Even if it's a short walk, 15 minutes every single day, will increase your circulation, will increase the metabolic rate at which your body burns calories, and your appetite will be adjusted. For some reason, people who exercise moderately don't feel as hungry as if someone who doesn't, and also someone who is nutrient deficient. So nourishment and exercise and building up to, if you want to go all out and just be super healthy and super strong, then work up to it gradually and make sure that you replenish after every single exercise session. That replenishment is extremely important. I've written a whole book about that. It's extremely important for people who exercise to do that. So yeah, some people can lose weight temporarily by ceasing to take in the other foods that are higher in calories versus the drops, and experience a temporary weight loss. But everyone knows whoever has dieted will reach a plateau, and then they can't lose weight any further. The body is very smart. It does not want to let go of excess weight if it means losing valuable muscle protein or immune system and valuable enzymes the body has to produce. These are all proteins. So the body to a certain point will lose some weight, but the only way to be strong and to lose body fat and look slimmer and yet be stronger and healthier is to do all of that and just, do it all right. There's no other way. Sorry. There's just no other way to do that.
That's a great answer. Thank you. One of the questions we get often is people look at our ingredient list and they say, oh, darn, I can't take this one product because I'm allergic to this one ingredient. And yet they want the results from our product so badly, they take it anyway, and they're not having an allergic reaction. Why would somebody, let's say, for example, who's allergic to strawberries, take our drop with strawberry in it and not have a reaction?
Yeah, two things. First of all, the natural flavorants are an extract of a certain compound in the strawberry or any other fruit to flavor it. So it's not all of the compounds combined in the strawberry. Strawberry, for example, are very, very detoxifying, anti-inflammatory berries. And people who are in a state of a toxic state, have been eating all the wrong foods, and their body systems need to be cleansed out. All the microcirculatory pathways need to be cleaned out, like in the lymph system, or the blood circulation, whatever's circulating in the system that needs to be eliminated but can't, and it's causing inflammatory problems, arthritis, for instance, or any other disease. Even heart disease is a form of inflammation. So if a person takes in a strawberry and it goes to work to start cleaning house, then they're going to release a lot of the biochemicals in a stress response, because suddenly there's this little thing cleaning house and the body goes into a slight panic mode, or the immune system is not strong or smart enough to recognize the fact that the strawberry is not the harmful thing. It's the detoxification that the strawberry causes and the release of all the toxins back into the bloodstream that's causing that. So people need to detox gradually and sensibly through a healthy diet, taking the drops, drinking water, things like that, in order to finally try to test a tiny bit of strawberry in the future to see if they have that problem. But that one particular extract that is the flavorant in the drops is probably not the culprit for causing this reaction to strawberries.
That's so interesting. And the last question I had on my list was gut health. Of course, we hear gut health and how crucial it is to anti-aging and to staying healthy as long as possible. I know we have two products that deal with digestion and gut. Could you talk a little bit about those two products, ICE and MLS, and give us your opinion on how important those are for everybody's diet and why?
Yes, the ICE it doesn't have very many ingredients, does it? And so, but the ingredients that it does have are well known for reducing inflammation and to eliminating excess toxins out of the blood, to improve digestion by helping produce more hydrochloric acid. Unless you have a peptic ulcer where you have a ruptured, stomach lining, then that's a good thing. You want to have more of the hydrochloric acid to digest and break apart those gigantic protein, carbohydrate, and fat molecules that a person ingests. So that is why it does that. And it has a calming, soothing effect. There are phytochemicals in those foods that will repair the stomach lining if it needs to, or to coat it if it's in a state of inflammation. Yes, someone's coming in. Hi.
All good.
I know I told my daughter, do not do that. Don't come in here when I'm doing this call. But so yeah, I mean, that's what the ice does. And it's a very soothing, very wonderful, nice thing to have. You can take it at any time, whether you're eating or before eating or during a meal if you want to, but it will help digestion.
And then MLS for gut health. That, like, gut health encompasses a lot of different things. So can you talk a little more specifically about the benefits of MLS?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so MLS contains such a wide array of botanicals, and in each botanical they all have a vast array of phytochemical compounds that act on the immune system, so that it's just pansystemic. It goes to every single type of body system. You've got the nervous system, the digestive system, and it's just every single body system, right? But in the digestive system, it's important to formulate in the colon a good aerobic culture, bacterial culture, so that you will not experience any toxins or any kind of indigestion or gaseous upsets, or the proliferation of the anaerobic microbes, which are illness causing. So you've got to have a good balance of the right microflora in the colon. Those microflora are so important also for just making sure that your whole system stays detoxified, so nothing gets reabsorbed through the colon. A lot of times when people feel like they need to go to the restroom, but yet they hold it, they're actually reabsorbing the toxins that your body has been trying to eliminate. So that is definitely not health. You can get a lot of sepsis conditions in the blood if you keep doing that. So stay hydrated and eat high fiber foods. And in the drops in the MLS, all those phytochemicals will actually help soften stools and actually destroy any microorganisms that don't belong there. So they act on their own. They mobilize the immune system to go in there and destroy a lot of those toxic bacteria as well, to help maintain the right flora. And also, when you take in the right types of fiber in various foods, your body automatically will help nourish and feed all of the positive microbes in there. So it's a matter of making sure you have the right microbes in there to battle any kind of illness-causing microbes that might dare to be there. So with the drops and with the a healthy diet full of very good whole food, fruits, vegetables, raw nuts and seeds, whole grains, beans and legumes, all those plant food in the plant kingdom, especially the raw foods, though, the fruit and vegetables and the leafy greens, things like that. Of course, all of those DNA from all those plants are in our drops. So there's a lot of information that our bodies can use as well.
Well, I know we've gone over a little bit, but oh my gosh, your information is so valuable to us. I can't thank you enough for jumping on and doing this with me. I guess my last question is this: will we be seeing you in Panama for the Survivor Challenge?
Wow, when is that?
Really? You would come?
I don't know.
That's amazing. It's next month. I'll send you the details.
I'm up for a physical challenge, definitely.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you so much. I know everybody in the company is just so grateful for all your knowledge and all that you share with us. Can you tell everybody how we know that you had to redo your book a little bit, add a little bit,
Right.
change a few things? How can people get their hands on it now?
Well, I have put up a page on my website, holisticchoices.com. Let me go there real quick so I can describe to you exactly what to do. I don't have it available yet, but I do have a picture of the cover on it. So I'm going to my website right now. I don't necessarily have to share it. I just want to direct you to the right tab. Let's see, books. Okay, yeah, if you go to holisticchoices.com and on the left, you'll see books by Mary Esther Gilbert. Just scroll down to the bottom and it says new book coming, summer of 2021, Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health is the new title, unless I change my mind, but I think that's the one I'm going to stay with. And it's got a great picture of all sorts of different botanicals and an old Materia Medica, an ancient herbal book. It's got a picture of that on there. So that's going to be on the cover. But so far right now, I just have new book coming soon, summer of 2021. So I'm almost done. Relatively speaking. I've added new botanicals too, and it's not just going to be all the drops that are only in the APL drops. I had to do that to make the book different. I'm so meticulous, though I drive myself nuts, but I am going to present a lot more botanicals in addition to everything that's in the drop. So it's going to be a really educational source. And I plan on also creating a class at my teachable.com website, which is truehealthmastery.net, I believe. Yes. And so that will be the school that people can take the course associated with the book eventually.
Well, that is new news. That's amazing. Count me in. I will absolutely take that course. Thank you so much. We so appreciate you. We hope we can continue to do meetings like this, because the more knowledge we have about this incredible product that we're so blessed and fortunate to promote, the better off we all are. So, Mary Esther,
it's been my pleasure. It's been my pleasure. This is so much fun. I love doing this. So anytime, Tina, anytime.
Thank you so much.